All right, I'm here at the Dallas Marijuana March with Shaun McAlister. He's the Executive Director of DFW NORML. We just concluded the march. Shaun, what did you think about this march compared to the one in May?
Well, I'm glad that we had about a similar showing to the Fort Worth March in May. We had about between 2,000 and 2,500 people here is kind of the police estimate. I'm very pleased that the city of Dallas was willing to work with us on this, issue us all manner of permits, which we have never filed for before. And I'm particularly impressed with the way that the Dallas Police Department handled their involvement with us. They were extremely respectful and courteous. They communicated very well with us, and we basically always knew what to expect from them. And because of that, I think that this may have been our most successful event ever. Not necessarily because it was the biggest or not the biggest, but because this was the most organized. This was the best showing that we've ever had as a legitimate organization in working with the civil government.
And you said that it started on time and ended on time?
We actually started a normal event on time and concluded on time. It's a miracle. It is a weed day miracle here at the Dallas Marijuana March.
Now, we were talking with the police earlier, and they said that whenever they work an event, usually they see a lot of fights, but they didn't see any fights here. What do you think about that being a normal thing?
Well, I think that it's crazy that police are used to going and policing a whole bunch of drunk people, and that's okay, but the idea of these same group of people changing their substance and thus changing their behavior, making them less violent, more orderly, more willing to respect the law, unlike drunk people. I think that it's crazy that cops are forced to work this normalcy of alcoholism in the world instead of giving them a much more calm and collected crowd to work with if they were medicating with cannabis.
Now, earlier you were talking about the coverage that the news gave us last night. You said that they weren't able to come out because they had Ebola stuff to cover. What do you think about that?
Well, when we had, to be clear, this was one reporter from one news station that told us not to expect a whole lot of coverage because of what was happening with Ebola and because we weren't expecting 10,000 people. Those were basically the two reasons that I was given by this one reporter that out of professional courtesy I will never name. I won't even name the station. But what it did was it pissed me off enough to write a little something about it, to inform all of these fine people who were planning to come to our event, and it pissed them off too. And so what happened was, the way that it should be, the marijuana community made the phones ring. They called the media, they tweeted, they did all of these things that they should already be doing all the time, and they did it really well. And the media heard them, they picked up the story. CBS did a wonderful story on Alexis and Dean Bortel. This was by far some of the best coverage marijuana has ever received on television in the state of Texas, in my opinion, because they took it seriously. They didn't try to make a joke about it. There wasn't a single pot pun to be found in the entire 2-minute segment. It was emotional. It told a factual, real story about a real Texas family, and I think it touched a lot of Texans last night and this morning when it aired. And I think that because of that little bit of coverage, all of a sudden the media realized that there was a story here, and now I do believe we're going to hopefully see some, not maybe today coverage, but some kind of coverage at some point in the week from various media outlets acknowledging that this happened. Because, I mean, let's face it, we had 2,000 people on Dealey Plaza, where JFK was assassinated, talking about changing the laws of regarding marijuana in the state of Texas. That's never happened before. Certainly that's got to be newsworthy. Throw in the fact that most of these people were illegally consuming cannabis in a public place with cops all around, and nobody was arrested for it. If this can happen today at the Dallas Marijuana March or at the Global Marijuana March in Fort Worth or anywhere else for a day, why can't we just change the laws for all days and just make this a safer place for all of us and give the police real priorities, let them focus on some real crime?
Now, you said today was a very successful day for DFW NORML, so where does it go from here?
Well, I would like to get a count on our memberships. I think that we were just under 1,000 when this day started. We were right around 905, 910. Hopefully we cleared our 1,000th member today. That is an important hurdle for our organization to be able to say we represent 1,000 Texans. And then from there we will just continue to try to change the... Oh, excuse us. We'll continue to try to change the laws. We'll continue to work with our representatives, go down to Austin, testify, meet with these representatives and take our constituents, our cannabis community, to go and meet their representatives and let them know about this march that we had. Let them know that the police were cool, that the city was cool, and if this is happening, we should just go ahead and change our marijuana policy. And I think that because of this event, we're going to have a whole lot of ammunition to have conversations with our friends, our family, our teachers, our bosses, our coworkers. Anybody will be able to say, hey, did you hear about thousands of people marching through the streets of Dallas for marijuana this weekend?
All right, well, thank you, Shaun.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Man, we love the Texas Cannabis Report. Thanks for making the trip out here. And herb's the word, everybody. Please, please support the cannabis candidates that want to see you paying taxes, or at least not thrown in a cage when you choose to medicate with cannabis over a prescription drug. We can change the laws. Let's do it together. Herb's the word.
Hey, we love covering one of the most effective organizations in Texas. Thank you.